perspective on NewsX World. With that, viewers, we're shifting our focus to more updates coming in. We're now learning that Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have signed a new defense pact, declaring that an attack on one nation would be regarded as an act of aggression against both. Now, this agreement comes just days after an Israeli airstrike targeted Hamas leaders in Qatar, sending shockwaves through the Gulf, which has long relied on the United States for security. This deal was signed by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. A statement from the Saudi press agency has emphasized that the pact seeks to enhance defense cooperation and strengthen mutual deterrence against any potential threats. Now, the signing of this pact, interestingly, follows India's Operation Sindoor, held back in May, which targeted Pakistan's terror infrastructure, neutralizing 9 terror camps. Remember, in April, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was visiting Saudi Arabia. He was being hosted by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman when he had to abruptly cut his visit short due to the deadly terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir, in which 26 innocent civilians lost their lives. This is what led to Operation Sindoor. With us on the broadcast is Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, former Indian diplomat, joining us live from New Delhi. Thank you so much for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. At the outset, I would like to ask you, what implications does this particular pact have, considering the tensions in the Middle East, whether between Israel and the Arab states or even Saudi Arabia with Yemen? What's the likely impact for Pakistan?
Thank you for having me on this program, and this is a very important development which needs to be analyzed on the basis of whatever is publicly available at the moment. Defense ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia date back considerably, but in formal terms, this agreement updates and previous similar agreements signed in 1982 between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, under which Pakistani troops were deployed in Saudi Arabia. At that time, Iraq-Iran war was waging, and the Iranians were threatening the Gulf countries. Right now, too, the renewal of this agreement or reformulation of defense agreement between the two has taken the impetus of waging war in Gaza. Recent attack on Doha, as you already mentioned, and the Yemenis, Houthis in Yemen, straddling Saudi Arabia to launch missiles and drones at Israel. What Doha attacks seem to have done is to somehow raise doubt about U.S. security guarantees on which the GCC states have relied. If Doha, which hosts largest American base in the Middle East, could not be protected by Americans, then the conclusion drawn is that American word about securing the Gulf during Mr. Trump's visit earlier this year is not exactly worth the paper it's written on. So Saudis and others are looking for adding on to their security by bringing in other stakeholders who would be easier to manage and more predictable in their behavior. And Pakistan fits such a description. So I think that is where this agreement seems to have been reached. From Pakistani side, they have perceptions about India. So anything that promises mutual security strengthens their hand vis-a-vis India, or so they think.
So, a quick point I wanted to raise, since you did mention India. India has reacted to this. The Ministry of External Affairs has put out a statement, and I'm quoting what it says. It says that the government was aware that this development, which formalizes a long-standing agreement between the two countries, had been under consideration. We will study the implications of this development for our national security as well as for regional and global stability. The government remains committed to protecting India's national interests and ensuring comprehensive national security in all domains. Ambassador Sajdev, how do you read into this statement, particularly the part where India has emphasized that it was aware that this pact was in the works?
I think that is significant. The ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are based on their common adherence to Islam. Over the past couple of decades, particularly after Prime Minister Modi's energetic forays in the Gulf, this hyphenation between India and Pakistan seemed to have ended. And the Saudi statement quoted by Reuters about this defense agreement does mention Saudi Arabia's robust ties with India, and they have never been better, according to the Saudi source, etc. So there is an intent from the Saudi side to protect their interests with India. And India was the largest buyer of Saudi crude, second largest buyer of Saudi crude. In fact, for us, Saudi Arabia was the largest source. Still, the Russian oil appeared on the horizon. So Saudis who are looking for a continuation of the oil relationship and other ties are likely to abridge the agreement vis-a-vis that they have signed with Pakistan to make sure that India's interests are not affected. And that is where the MEA spokesman seemed to have hinted at that Saudis had kept us in the picture, and we are, he has given a pretty balanced and how should I say, non-emotive response to this development, that Indian side is going to study its implications and ensure our security interests are not hurt. So all seem to be under control.
Indeed, sir, as you pointed out, India and Saudi Arabia do share a robust partnership. Interestingly, India and Saudi Arabia also have an intel sharing agreement that was inked in 2023. With that, I would like to thank you, Ambassador Sajdev.